These are the top fantasy football pickups for week 9. That's right, this is Nesto's crystal ball, where every week I look 1 week ahead into the future to see who will be the top pickups the following week. I want you to be the guy who makes your league mates' faces drop as they rush to the waiver wire next week looking for the hot new pickup and realize, oh, you already have them on your roster. Historically, I've been that guy. It's what's helped me win 36% of all the fantasy football leagues I've been in the last 20 plus years. Last week, I had a big hit with Aronde Gadsden as my tight end pick. Let's see who I get right this week. 2 players at each position, one under 50% owned, one under 10% owned. Let's go. The obvious pick at QB is Joe Flacco. He's still under 50% owned. He's got the best receivers of his whole career. I don't care how old he is, as long as you're throwing to T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, you can put up points. Jets is a nice matchup this week, as is Chicago next week, then he's on bye. Under 10% has to be Jacoby Brissett, only 2% owned. Quietly has averaged 300 yards passing and 2 pass TDs the last 2 starts for the Cardinals, markedly better than Kyler Murray. And if he keeps the starting job, he's a high quality guy to play against Dallas in week 9. It's the friendliest pass defense in the NFL. I know he's 32, but still has some rushing ability as well that you'd like to see in fantasy. Also have to shout out Malik Washington, only 14% owned, against Baltimore in week 9. Bad teams are great for wide receivers, and they might be without Jalen Waddle because of a trade or injury at that point. So someone has to catch some of the 40 odd pass attempts that are likely for Miami in that game against Baltimore. My favorite, only 3% owned, is Jalen Noel on the Texans. Nico Collins and Christian Kirk both in his practice Thursday. I love Noel's versatility though, the fact that he can play out of the slot, as well as the fact that he had 7 targets and 77 yards just last week. The running back picks feel slightly obvious this week. We've got Kyle Monangai first. I don't like just repeating what every other fantasy expert says, but yeah, Monangai got increased usage last week. Ben Johnson, who was the Lions coordinator last year, loves having 2-headed running back backfields with David Montgomery or Jahmyr Gibbs, or this year DeAndre Swift and Monangai. DeAndre Swift has been limited or missed practice all this week, and the cherry on top is week 9, they get the Bengals. Below 10%, I like Devin Neal. He's only 3% owned somehow. Kendre Miller out for the year. Saints know what they have with Kamara, so it'll be interesting to see what they get out of this rookie. Neal's a good receiver and big enough to be a 3-down back, so I like his potential in this offense. You can see where I rank all these guys, as well as some other experimental features at my site, fansports.com. I'm updating it every single day to give you the best rankings on the internet. I want you to win your fantasy football league. At tight end, this might be Colston Loveland's time to shine finally. Somehow is drafted ahead of Tyler Warren, has been banged up, but now Cole Kmet, the backup tight end of the Bears, is likely to miss this week. And I love the Ravens this week, and then the Cincinnati Bengals the following week. Prime matchups. Deep cut at tight end, 0% owned, is Jeremy Ruckert. Haven't heard of him. He's the backup tight end on the New York Jets. And I normally wouldn't be that excited about the Jets offense, but against Cincinnati Bengals, I like anyone who has a chance to make plays. At kicker, Tyler Loop is below 50%, and he gets the Miami Dolphins week 9. That's a great matchup. And then Joshua Carty on the Rams is only 12% owned right now, while the Rams are on bye. Then the following week they get the New Orleans Saints. Snag him if you have a roster spot to spare, but also keep in mind the Rams defense is the priority pickup here. Under 10%, I like the Jaguars. You get the Raiders next week. That's going to be a great matchup. Go to fansports.com if you have a minute. I'm working on the start sit feature and trade analyzer. A lot of work to pick up on. My son was just born a few days ago, so I'm a little bit behind. But I want to help you win your fantasy football league. That's why I'm making videos every single day, and I really appreciate you all spending a few valuable minutes of your day to watch this. I also have a Patreon. Search me up at Nesto first, because I had a longer version of this video. I had to edit down a lot of my thoughts to get it under 3 minutes. Stay learning. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.